How are you guys? Mudsy here from Muay Thai Interviews again. And my next guest's got a bit of a treat for you boys and girls. He owns and runs his own gym called Top Tier Muay Thai in Geelong, Victoria. He's a personal trainer at AK Physiques. He runs his own promotion called Prestige Fight Series. And in between all that, he still manages to find time to train for his upcoming fight on Powerplay 37 Promotions. And he was also a co-host on the extremely popular 8 Weapons podcast. I'm joined by the AK47, Chris Bradford. How are you, mate?
What up, Muzzy? Howdy, all you listeners out there. Hope everything's going well to everyone. Good to see someone's having another crack from where 8 Weapons fell off. And good luck to it all, Muzzy. And pleasure to be on here, man.
Thanks, man. I'm stoked that I get to have a chat with you. Always excited when I get someone to have a chat with. I quite enjoy this, actually, and probably just want to say actual thanks to you and Jimmy, because you guys are what made me want to start or give it a crack, I guess you could say, myself, because I absolutely enjoyed your podcast, to say the least, and I was always at the iTunes store waiting for the next episode to come on out.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Jimmy was a good fellow to work with. Always had a good bit of banter, and it was always fun on the 8 Weapons. But make sure you take off where we left off, mate. It'd be good.
No worries, mate. I got very big shoes to fill, but I wouldn't say I'm trying to fill your shoes. I'm just trying to do my own thing, mate. And you guys just gave me the inspiration to have a crack myself. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
But mate, you actually started your martial arts journey with Kyokushin karate. You had around 20 fights or so, and then you found Muay Thai while watching videos of the late Raymond Deckers. How old were you when you transitioned from karate into Muay Thai?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I had a pretty successful Kyokushin career. I was traveling around Australia fighting 2009. I think I was the Australian Open Heavyweight Champion, which was a good transition. I was also training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was also doing boxing. And one day I stumbled on videos of Raymond Decker's, the late Raymond Decker's, and I went, whoa, I have to try this shit out. I need to do this. I need to do it. And I had a friend that was into it, went and tried it with him, absolutely loved it, started training more and more together. The transition was reasonably good for me because I had done boxing. I had done a lot of kicking through Kyokushin. And then it all dropped and all clicked when eventually I bit the bullet, and I went up and trained with John Wayne Parr, and just from then frothed on it, just said, I need to do this shit. I need it in my life, and it just become part of me, part of who I am, and created a career for me, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, man. I actually have a story about Raymond Deckers. I actually met him, it would have been it was the year before he passed away. He was, do you remember when Yods and Clive fought Kem in Pattaya? And it was the day before New Year's Eve, so it was December the 30th. And I was there at the stadium with a couple of my mates, and we'd had a few beers, and we actually were watching the fights, and when one of the Holland or the Dutch fellas come out, the commentator actually said, and he's trained by Raymond Deckers, and Raymond Deckers walked behind him, and me and my mate looked at each other, and we were like, holy shit, Raymond Deckers is here. Anyways, his boy lost the fight only by a decision, and we lost a couple of $100 because we bet with some ties on Raymond Decker's fighter. But at the time, they weren't chairs, they were just like concrete stairs that we were sitting on. And after the fight, Raymond come down and sat about 4 or 5 stairs in front of us, and he was talking to someone, and I was with my mate, and I said, mate, should I go down and get a photo? And he's like, no, just wait, he's talking to someone, just wait. I said, all right, no worries. And after about 10 minutes, Raymond stopped talking, he got up and he walked out, and I said to my mate, I'm going to follow him and go get a photo. He goes, no, don't, he'll be back. So I was like, all right, and I'd had a couple of beers, and I waited about 10 minutes, and I said, he's not coming back, I'm going to go find him. So I walked out the door, and one of the guys, like I showed him my stamp, and one of the guys on the door was actually a Dutch fella. And I said, excuse me, mate, did Raymond Deckers walk out here? And he goes, yeah, he's just sitting down having a chat over there. And I said, oh, do you reckon he'd mind if I could just get a quick photo with him? And he goes, yeah, yeah, sure, no problems. Come here, come here. And he took me over and he goes, Ramon, can you just have a quick photo with this gentleman? And I was just so starstruck. I go, mate, can you take a quick photo? And I put my arm around him. And the only thing I could manage to get out is I just said to Raymond, mate, you're a fucking legend, you know that? And he's just looked at me and had that Raymond smirk on his face. And yeah, sorry guys, Mudsy's internet connection's not the best. So I was just saying, yeah, I met Raymond Deckers and was just basically completely starstruck. And the only thing I could manage to get out after I got the photo was I said, mate, you're a fucking legend. And he just gave me that typical Raymond Decker smirk and smiled and laughed and nodded his head. And I said, I probably said cop and carp about 20 times. And yeah, that was my Raymond Decker story. And then literally that was in December the 30th. And then I think like mid February, so like 6 to 7 weeks later, found out he passed away. So I was pretty gutted about that.
Yeah, definitely shook everyone up, shocked the whole Thai industry. As you can see, it even affected the Thai people, you know, for what he did for Muay Thai is not duplicated every day, maybe not even duplicated by any foreigner ever again. But yeah, he really helped foundations of Muay Thai, actually helped the Thais learn a little bit more about their own style. You know, he's so effective with his hands. The Thais had to tighten their guards and learn to defend punches more than just kicks. And yeah, really reshaped and redefined Muay Thai as we see it today. So true legend. But on that note, that story you just told about getting a photo with him, that's one thing that I'll always do, and I'll always take the time to do. And I've been away in Queensland, I've been in Patong, I've been in Pattaya, you know, people have recognised me and wanted a photo. And there's one thing I'll always give people respect and the time for a photo. And when I get a photo, you know, I want to know who they are, what their names are. Give them respect. You know, they've come up and taken the time to respect me, to recognise me. So why not give it back and appreciate the people that helped shape your career? You know, it's an important thing to me in Muay Thai.
Oh, definitely, man. And like even just by doing that little gesture, like I tell you what, that actually made like my whole month. Just that one photo with him, sort of thing. So you'll be making someone happy anyway, mate.
Yeah. Well, as it's a story you remember in your head, you know. So it's important to me that people remember the small things as well as the big things.
Exactly, mate. And when you did make the transition to Muay Thai, what was your first gym you trained at, and who was your first trainer?
My first official trainer was a guy called Vichan over in Thailand. I was traveling over to him originally while I was doing karate, and then I had a mate back here, Nick, who I was training Muay Thai with as well. So back and forward, had a few fights amateur, and then I started teaching at an MMA school, Muay Thai, and it just boomed. It went crazy here in Geelong. And I think my style of teaching, everyone related to, tried to make it fun while realistic. And yeah, next minute, things were just chockers, wall to wall. Classes were huge. And unfortunately, I had to make the shit decisions to the guy who owned the gym. I said, look, I need to go out on my own and do this. And yeah, it just all steamrolled from there, transitioned to my own part-time gym. Which then become full-time, which was huge, still trying to fight well-trained fighters, and just grew and grew and grew, man. It was an amazing journey, and fuck, I've had that many fucking situations pop up through my life and fight career now that one day I'm going to make a very fucking profitable book, I tell you what. Yeah.
And how long has Top Tier been open and operating for?
10 years this year. So yeah, it's pretty amazing thing. You know, but if you backtrack it, realistically, me and my mates were training Muay Thai, and we were doing a bit of jits and some boxing way back in my shed. You know, I'd have 3 or 4 guys come over just to train with me on 4 little square mats. And, you know, it's pretty cool when you think about the history of that people wanted to come train with me just because they knew I was enthused. They knew I knew what I was doing. To be honest, I can probably teach better than I can fight, but yeah, it was a really cool situation. And yeah, you could say it almost evolved from my shed into someone else's gym, then into top tier. But yeah, I still remember some great days, even in my shed, even when I was training for fights, banging on my shed bag and just rocking the foundations of the shed down. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's sick, man. That's awesome. And not only Muay Thai, mate, you also run and own AK Physiques, where you help people achieve their fitness and body sculpturing, muscle toning, and fat burning through proper training and proper diet. Can you tell the listeners a bit about that, mate, and what spurred you to do that?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, Muzzy. I'm glad you asked me that because I haven't really cleared that up on a public forum yet. So basically, after I fought Steve Behan on Rebellion and retired the first time, um, I really wanted, that situation you hear of professional fighters just going, what the fuck do I do with my life now? Teaching is one thing. It's great to see your students, but you cannot duplicate the rush of winning or fighting in the ring. It's just something that, fuck man, not even sex even comes close to sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty crazy thing. So I needed some sort of outlet, something to focus my energy on. So I went and done my nutrition course. I started lifting a lot more weights than what I normally used to. And I started writing up dietary plans for people and weight training programs. And then really connecting with people. That's the key to it because I'm very patient with people. I like to see emotion and passion in something that people are doing, give them the time. And when they dedicated themselves to me, they could see that I knew what I was doing through all my experience already through fighting, cutting weight, training, regular basis for so many years that, hey, this AK, he knows what he's on about. He knows about nutrition. He knows what to do to train and lose weight. So, yeah, it's worked really well. Made a good little business out of it. Had some great success stories and really transformed some people's lives. And I'm talking like people in the US, people messaging me last night in Dubai. There's a lady there in the US that just ran a marathon and had AK on her top to represent
Sick.
me. There's so many cool stories, and I've really branched out all over Australia, China. So yeah, to have that reach is very cool. And the best part about that long-winded story is it all comes back to the foundation of Muay Thai that I established my name and respect through Muay Thai, and then I could push that into another passion, which was really cool as well.
Man, that's sick. So you've got clients all around the world.
Yeah, and they contact me regularly. Man, I've had some amazing stories. I had one lady who was on an AK Physiques plan, was diagnosed with cancer. I helped her through her chemo and her therapy. She credits me for motivating her and helping her. She's now, I think it's called remission when you do your chemo and things are dying off.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's the one that ran the marathon. And she just credits me and says, you motivated me and helped me so much. And I will never forget it and appreciate it. When you hear that story, you see the messages, which I do put up on my social media, fuck man, it just warms your heart and goes, hell yeah, this is why we do this shit.
Yeah.
This is what AK is about. I'm lucky I've got a profile. I'm lucky that I'm well known for fighting, but the core of AK is I love to help people. I love to help people change their lives for the better and be a part of someone's well-being, so to speak.
Man, that's great. I'm glad I asked you that question because that was awesome. I've got a
Yeah,
few, few
thanks,
few
bro.
few little hairs standing up on my tattooed
Yeah,
arms there.
it's
And
crazy, man. Like just how you can outstretch when you can influence someone's life. And going back to the photo question that I was saying before, that's why I'll always spend the time to get to know someone if they ask me for a photo because moments like that, they stand still in someone's mind for a very, very long time and they'll always remember it. So it's good.
and the thing is, you never know when you may see them again, or when they could end up being someone that you work with later on down the track. It is a small world, and everyone is separated by 6 degrees of separation or whatever it is that they call it. So sometimes it's uncanny how shit works out, I reckon.
Oh, could not agree more, man. One thing I've learned, as you just said, with what I'm doing, outstretching, like fuck you. It's just amazing how you stumble across people that actually know you, or you're related to them, or you know of someone who knows someone. And yeah, and one thing I do believe in is karma.
Definitely.
So yeah, I try and do the best I can to do the best for people and to people, best of my ability, and hopefully that karma will come back and serve a good purpose, which is done not too bad these days. It's done
Yeah,
not too bad.
and I believe in karma, and I also believe that everything happens for a reason. So I think like if good things are happening to me, then I deserve it, and if bad things are happening to me, well, I probably pissed someone off earlier in my life, and it's coming back to haunt me now. But
Yeah,
whatever happens is whatever happens, and it's all happening for a reason. Well, that's what I think anyway.
very true, man.
Um, and as if you weren't busy enough already, you also have your own promotion called Prestige Fight Series, and you won Best Promotion of the Year in 2016, I think that was.
Yeah,
What are some of your favourite matchups you've put on that show, and when can the people expect to see another show?
good question. One of my all-time favorite matchups that I made was Chad Collins versus Samuel Bark.
Oh
Two
yeah,
absolute warriors. And they are friends, but that's the Thai community. You know, back then Chad was still rising to seize the ability. Sam was really like on his game, so the matchup was just crazy at the time. You know, and just making it happen was so cool. Chad's a good friend of mine. He's a warrior. You know, like he fought Sing Payak as well. So
yeah.
there's a lot happened on the show, which has been so cool. Some other matchups, man, there's been friggin' that many. You know, but even the undercard fights, like I try really hard, even with my own fighters on Prestige, you know, I don't want to be one of those promoters and gym owners that, in a lot of people's eyes, give their fighters what people call an easy matchup. Fuck
Yeah.
that. You know, my boys always take hard fights, and I always want them to learn through tough, credible fights. Myself, my career, I always tried to fight people with better records, more experience, bigger, tougher, whatever. You know, that was the way I learned, and that's the way I've earned my respect, I feel, through the Thai boxing community. And I do feel that now in Australia, on a Muay Thai community basis, that 9.5 out of 10 people would know top tier
Yep.
because of that fact that myself and all my boys take credible, tough fights, and it's a real credit to the gym, credit to the trainers, and yeah, it's a really good environment we've got going down there, so I love it.
And will we be seeing? When can we expect to see another show of you putting on, or is that on the? Is
Yeah,
that on the? Is that on
no,
the back burner for a bit?
it's definitely on the cards. It was going to happen early, but obviously Power Play have changed a couple of little things with this big fight I've got coming up, and it's definitely on the cards to do again. I don't really have an idea of what matchups I'll have. You know, there's that many up and coming people now. Friggin' hell, there's that many people in Australia fighting Muay Thai that could make a main event anywhere in Australia
Yeah.
that's off the chain, you know. I love what Sainaji is doing with Rebellion. You know, it's all action-packed, good matchups. You know, I want to duplicate that and then have my own little spin on it as well. And I think all the matchups are great. And I especially like that range anywhere from like the 60 to 76 kilo mark. You know, it's real dynamic, real fast, and real crazy pace. And just, you know, that's good Muay Thai when you see that sort of counter fighting and attacking style.
Yeah. And did Chad used to train at your gym or not?
No, Chad's never trained in my gym.
Oh,
We just established a good friendship over the years. I cornered him one time at a show. We just really clicked. Chad was young and up and coming, and I think he just felt that I warmed to him because I did. He felt that I offered him some good mature advice, and yeah, we just clicked really well. And then I've cornered him a lot now. Helped get him some sponsorship deals. You know, I talk to him when he's in Thailand. You know, it's kind of the little brother I check up on occasionally. Yeah, but he's in love now, so he's hard to get a hold of these days.
man, I swear you called it though, because I remember listening to you couple of years ago on 8 Weapons, and you were talking about Chad as an up and comer, and big things were going to come from him. And lo and behold, look at him taking over Thailand, mate. The Bangkok fight scene, he's just killing it.
Yeah, exactly. Look, to be honest, he's at the right stable too. Sanctinoy is an absolute beast. He is, for the better of the words, an unforgiving trainer.
Yeah.
You've got to work hard for him, otherwise you're out the door. And Chad has now matured and can establish himself with that work rate, that work ethic, which has been great to see. Sam Bark's been there as well. There's so many good fighters that have come out of that gym, so many foreigners that have gone out of that gym and pushed their career further and further. And it only made him more explosive. He's had more opportunities on a huge stage, which has been great for him to see. And I knew Chad was special because he's got his own flair on Muay Thai while he still has great Muay Thai basics. That's why I always knew he was going to be special.
Yeah, definitely, man. And one thing I've noticed he uses really well in Muay Thai, which a lot of other people don't use, is that rear uppercut. He really uses that, and fuck, man, when that connects, people's heads are going flying.
Yeah, he's really good at throwing that. You see him throwing a lot more downward elbows these days. And then he's got his own little flair as well, which, he's got that tendency to float when he walks through the ring and change from left to right stance to orthodox to southpaw, he does it with very good ease. And it's very good, very hard for an opponent to read.
Yeah.
But it's cool as shit because he's got his own little flair on it, and not many people do it, so it's not like every other fighter's doing it. It's easier to read. It's the Collins way. It's the Chad boy way, So, yeah, it's good. It's the cheeky boy. I love that shit. And it's only going to get better as he was so strong when he come back and fought on my show the second time after he'd been away, and just you could see the complete difference in the strength in his body, his power kicks, huge difference. So, man, if he got back in Australia at the moment, I'd be scared of him. He'd be a beast. Yeah.
Well, I did an interview with Sam Bark, and I asked him, like, you and Chad fought before and you guys have gotten heaps better. Would you two ever, like, go back to Australia and train and fight each other again? And he's like, yeah, we would if the money was right. Man, imagine seeing them two again.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And look, that's an aspect of their maturity as well. When it all comes down to it, when you've been around the Muay Thai scene for a while, you end up fighting your friends. It's business.
It's just business.
You're professional. You're professional inside the ring. You do your thing, and then you go out after and you have a beer or talk about the fight or whatever. The McKinnon boys, like, I've known them for a long time. We say g'day. We're up in Queensland. We respect one another and all that. We'll go in there and do our business, and then we'll probably catch up for a beer after the fight. Muay Thai is such a cool sport for respect, and that's ultimately what I just love about it. It's just a good, respectful sport.
Yeah, me too, man. You don't see all that argy-bargy, or not rarely do you see all that argy-bargy crap. And in saying that, you have been around the Oz Muay Thai scene for a while now. Who are some fighters that excite you, and some up-and-comers you think that we should keep an eye out for?
Oof, that's a tough question. Yeah. Look, one kid that is really making some waves, which is starting to really establish himself anyway, is River Diaz from Hammer's Gym. He's once again got his own little unique style, which is pretty cool, pretty crazy, and he's really sort of knocking off opponents left, right, and center, and it's just his work ethics, his work rate's huge. Like, he puts so many bunches of combinations together, it's out of control.
Yeah.
There's a young kid over there at the pit. I've lost touch with him a little bit, by the name of Lockie, I'm pretty sure it is. And man, I'm pretty sure it was Lockie. And damn, that kid can fight. I watched him have an elbow war up in Queensland against one of the NTG boys. He's only 17. I'm thinking, damn, I hope this kid continues, because he just had so good a balance and everything on his feet, the way he controlled fights. It was amazing. It was only like his 7th, 8th fight. It was crazy. Yeah. And then one to actually look out for, and I'm sorry to sound biased, but is one of my boys is Clem Taylor. Man, that kid's up to his 11th fight now. He's 4 on the trot wins. He just knocked his last think his last opponent out, and he's had a knockout back then. So, he's up and coming and really making some noise in the Victorian scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool. There's a bit of movement going on. Back in the day, it was WA and Queensland, but I'll tell you what, Victoria is thumping in the Muay Thai scene, and everyone's lifting for it here too. And I think when the interstaters come in, they're seeing how tough it is now to fight Victorians.
And I'm going to say this as a general whole, every single state, Australia as a whole in the Muay Thai scene, male and female, it's just getting stronger and stronger every month. Like, I'm not even going to say every year, every month it gets stronger. Like, you just see people fight on a show and then you see them fight again, and it's like, Jesus, man, every time you fight, and that's even like amateurs.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a good point you made too. I probably should mention that. I commented to Dennis's show there in Noxu a week ago, I think it was, where it's a female-only show.
Yeah.
And holy shit, was I impressed. The amount of, the whole card was quality matchups. The girls did so well, saying, hey, we can match it with the boys, and here we are. Stand up and recognise us, man. The fights were quality, the pace was quality, the crowd and the venue looked unreal. So well done with Dennis. But the girls really made a statement for Muay Thai on that show, I feel. Yeah.
Man, and the fact that it was just an all-girls show, that speaks volumes about female Muay Thai in general. Like, it's pumping. It's only getting stronger. Like, a couple of years ago, you would never see an all-female card. It would be couple of female fights in with the boys. Now they're establishing and they're holding their own and doing a fucking good job. Pardon my French.
Yeah, no, they really are looking, and it's because they're becoming so aggressive now. Some of the girls are so aggressive and just like not afraid to get hit. Fuck, man, I've fucked my face up that many times over the years just from coming forward and not giving a shit about my body.
Yeah.
And now the girls are doing it as well, and it just makes for aggressive, good fights, and I love seeing that shit. I really do.
Yeah, that reminds me of something when you're like talking about the girls and that putting their bodies on the line. Me and a couple of boys were sort of having a joke. Like, imagine if you were one of the fighters, like partners, and you're out with them the next day, and they've got a black eye, and you're standing next to them. People will probably be giving like their husbands or their boyfriends the dirty looks, thinking, "What did you do, mate?"
Yeah, they would. They would understand that, that's for sure, man.
It'd probably be the other way around. The women wouldn't have to worry. It's the husbands and the male partners that they have to worry and look out.
That's exactly right, man. But yeah, it's going strong, and it's only growing even more and more and more. So I'm really impressed,
mate. Definitely. And one thing, mate, I'm keen to ask you is you had a fight to retain your title on CMT4 against Brad Trainor. You won that fight to retain your belt, but during the fight, the commentator said that you both didn't really like each other. And after the fight was over, you went over to thank him for the fight, but it looked like he had a few choice words to say, and he looked like he maybe wanted to go round 6 with you. Can you talk about the beef between you two, and what did he actually say to you after that fight?
Yeah, no problem at all. So to clear the air up straight away, me and Brad are actually really good friends. Brad's actually on my AK Physiques program. I'm helping him cut weight and make weight for some of his fights. There was no actual beef between us. So to cut a long story short, I knew he was young, I knew he was hungry, and I was the older person. But I knew that because I was older and wiser, I could get in his head easy.
Yeah.
So when we weighed in, I missed the first weight by 150 grams, and Shaggy said, "Yep, no, it's for a title, so go take it off." And I just had a little whisper as I walked off in Brad's ear, and I said, "I'm going to remember that." And it worked, and he remembers it as clear as a bell too. We joked about it. And the late Azatron, who's a great friend of mine, we talked about it after the fight. So I just got in his ear a little bit, the old bit of a munch, and and that's when we come to the fight, he was obviously, he was thinking it was going to be a gentleman's fight, and I am a gentleman at heart, but I knew I had to do everything against this hungry young bull, and that's why I kept walking forward on him. Didn't want to give him any space, any chance to get on top of the old boy that I am, it worked well for me. And Brad is a very passionate and emotional guy. And just after the fight, look, it's just one of those things. He was just upset he lost. He knew when the bell went that he'd lost. But look, it all calmed down pretty quick. Azatron had a good word to him and explained to him that, this is just fighting. It's just Chris getting in your ear. I had a good chat to Brad. I had a good chat to Shaggy, and we all had a bit of a laugh about it later on. It was just that weigh-in. I think a few of the crew seen it were a little bit unhappy, but look, that's the nature of the beast. Fuck, I've been headbutted at weigh-ins and then knocked people out because of it, so I don't give a fuck. Like, it is what it is. I'm always going to be a humble guy. Like I'm fighting Steve McKinnon. That guy's created K1, in an aspect for Australia. He's fought on the world stage. He will always get my respect as a fighter and as a human too, because I know both the boys. But we'll both get in there and do business when the time comes. And that's what Brad tried to do. It didn't quite work out for him. And Brad, being the passionate boy, just got a little bit emotional and young about it. But we're good friends now. And I help him try and stay focused and cut some weight. And he's going really well now.
Oh, so I'm glad I got to ask you about that. So it's probably just the commentator stirring the pot a little bit as well, eh?
Yeah, it's probably my old mate Mr. Tui just stirring the pot a little bit up there. But Luke loves a good yarn, so it was pretty funny actually. Yeah.
It was because after the fight, like it's like the bell didn't even go, and because I think you maybe accidentally eye poked him or whatever, and then he was sort of like, you went to go fight again. You're like, nah, fuck that. And then, he put his hand up and was like, nah. And then they were like, oh, that's the end of the fight. But I don't even think you got to hear the bell ring.
Yeah, it's just a bit of confusion at the end. I think I did accidentally eye poke him. I wasn't 100% sure, but it was just hard with those little CMT gloves. But I think once again, Brad was passionate. He knew he was down. He busted my nose in the last round, so he seen a bit of blood, and you see a bit of blood, and all of a sudden you see hope, so to speak. I know when I see blood, my eyes widen, and I just, I love this shit. And it's like Brad had a sniff, and then that emotion rolls over to after the bell, as all fighters it does. And just one of those situations, but it's all good now. And if you're listening, Brad, I hope you're going well, bro. I was actually going to get up there and do a bit of sparring with him for my bout against Steve, but I think time's going to get a hold of me and I won't get up there.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Thanks for clarifying that. And mate, in 2016 you retired from Muay Thai to focus on growing your gym and fighters, your other business venture, AK Physiques, as well as your promoting at the time. How hard was it to make that decision, knowing that you still wanted to fight and that you were still in good physical condition?
Yeah, it was really hard. I actually feel the first time I retired, I was almost talked into it with some people around me. And you still got the hunger. If you're a fair income fighter, you've always got the fight in you. You're always hungry for it. You always want it. So the first time I retired, I didn't really want to, pushed into it a little bit. And then the opportunity came in 2016. I was like, nah, I'm going to do this shit. I'm going to get back in there and fought Rob Ferguson. On my own show. It was possibly the fucking dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Fight on my own show, promote my own show, train my own fighters, and run it all on the one night. It is the serious dumbest thing I've ever done. It will never happen again. And I do not suggest anyone in the Muay Thai world to try it because it's fucked. But a lot of fun. Tough fight with Rob. Rob banged with the best of anyone. I think he was a little bit upset about that fight. He felt he may have won. I felt I outpointed him, but look, fuck, that's fighting. You can go on back and forth the whole time, it's just one of those things. But Rob's a warrior, man. He's a champion. Once again, another name I was going to try and spar him before this bout, but I don't think I'll get time to. And another guy that I'm good friends with and I've had a beer with too. So, as I said, the Muay Thai community brings everyone pretty close together.
Yeah. And mate, in saying that, since your time out of the ring, you look like you've really bulked up. Was that a conscious decision you made when you retired from fighting to put on some more muscle mass, knowing that you didn't really have to worry about making weight or cutting weight anymore?
100%. And then on top of that, I was like, yes, I don't have to fucking do cardio anymore. I don't give a shit. Yeah. So, yeah, I was stacked of things. I learned a lot more about my nutrition. Um, I didn't have to do the cardio like I'm doing now. Even when I step in the ring, you'll probably see my body's changed a fair bit to my days before I've got back into this.
Yep.
You know, so everything changed, and I was just basically smashing weights for an hour, six times a week, and doing Muay Thai probably twice a week, if that, hitting pads a little bit and training the boys. So it was reversed. Conscious effort to get bigger, try and help with the AK Physiques image, so to speak, and definitely felt it when I fought Rob Ferguson, the weight difference, but it was a different scenario too, having a fucking whatever it was, 60 grand promotion riding on my shoulders while I was fighting on it. A lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and that played a heavy part in it too. But you know, you live and learn. But yeah, the weight has been a funny game, and I've adjusted to it better now. I understand it better, and yeah. So with someone like the Smashing Machine that I'm going to fight, and my current strength that I feel I've got, you know, he's a tough guy, but believe me, I can bang with the best, and I'm not afraid to go out on my sword or raise my sword, so to speak. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, man. And we just did talk about that. So on May 12th, you are coming out of retirement to fight another Aussie legend and icon of the sport in Big Steve McKinnon. Mate, give us your thoughts on this matchup, which is at 94 kilos, and would that be the heaviest you've ever fought at before?
No, with Rob, I fought at 99. I just said to Rob, man, about 2 weeks before it, I said, Rob, I'm running a promotion. I can't cut any weight. I'm already in hell as it is. And Rob weighed in at 98. I think I weighed in at 99, and that's the heaviest I've fought. But yeah, this would be a different weight range because I'm 94, but I'll be a different body shape and body type for this fight.
Yeah.
Steve's the real deal, that's for sure. Like I said, always get my respect for everything he's done. His work rate's huge, and on top of that, he can hit powerfully when he wants to. So I have to make all those adjustments. He knows K1 better than to me. You know, I'm still having the odd occasion where I'm bombing an elbow on the pads just by accident, freestyling. So I've got to take that Muay Thai out of my system. I've got to make my adjustments, which I'm working really well at the moment. And yeah, you know, I've watched a lot of his fights. Carnage, obviously, when he fought him. Yeah. And I commentated his last bout, so I'm taking that all on. And yeah, look, I love being the underdog. I've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. And he'll know that, and he'll also know that because of that, that drives me and gives me every opportunity to take any chance I want, because fighting a world-class opponent like Steve, you've got nothing to lose. So, but in saying that, I'm not going to be careless either. So, you know, if it goes through to the 5th round, that's when you'll see fireworks, because I'm not going to point this fight out if it goes to the 5th round. I will live and die by my sword. I don't give a fuck what belt's on the line. I don't give about the paycheck. I want the crowd to be entertained, and I want power play to get the best value for money they can.
And how do you feel given the fact that it is K1, so they've taken away your elbows, your knees, and your clinch?
Pretty shattered about, obviously, the elbows. I've gone to them a lot over my career. The knees are fine. I've got that style anyway.
Yeah.
So while I'm shattered about the elbows, I'm actually a bit happy about not having to clinch up as much and wrestle my way around the ring, because while I do clinch a lot, especially in Thailand, it hasn't been my forte, so to speak. I've never been a real clinch fighter, so to speak.
And so McKinnon's a big boy as well.
100%, man. Look, he would walk around bigger than me. You know, I've well documented, pretty much walk around about 101, 102 kilos, but I dare say he walks around about 105. He's a different build to me. He's a lot thicker, tree trunky.
Yeah.
When he comes forward, his weight's going to be huge. So I've got to adapt to that. And, you know, he doesn't really take a backward step. So I've got to make all these little adjustments too. So We'll see how it goes, man. It's an exciting matchup, I feel. By the reaction of the ticket sales and the way social media is going, all of Australia is interested in it. I know that the promotion's just signed with China, so China's eyes will be on it. There's a little rumor going around I might have America's eyes on it as well. So, yeah, but man, it's funny. The biggest fight of my career has come at the latest time in my career after I've done the Johnny Fun and come out of retirement for the third time. So, yeah, it's crazy shit. Crazy shit.
And mate, why are you coming out of retirement? Is this just a one-off, or will we be seeing more of the AK-47 in the ring in the future?
I dare say you'll see another couple.
Yes.
You know, Power Play, cheers, man. Power Play have really looked after me for this fight, and I appreciate Joe and Demi's hospitality. Um, yeah, and if things go well, there might be a few overseas opportunities that open up as well. And I've got some good friends around the country, and I hate using the word because I'm not really that way inclined, but I've actually got some really cool fans across the country too that want to see me fight as well. So it's very cool that I can actually say I've got fans. It's cool. I hate using the word, but yeah. So who knows, man? I don't think I'm done yet. Like I just lay in bed or whatever, just thinking about fighting, and until that dies, yeah, I don't think it'll disappear anytime soon.
Well, that's got me excited, mate, and I hope it's got the people listening here excited as well. Can't wait to see and hear what the future brings for you.
Yeah,
Now, mate, I won't keep you too much longer. I just do have a couple more questions for you, mate.
good away.
Now, are you and Jimmy going to be bringing back the Eight Weapons podcast at all? Because I think I speak for a lot of people when I say I absolutely love that. And will you bring it back, please?
Yeah, appreciate the feedback. I've actually had a lot of people, message us about that. I will say this: I dare say before the third quarter of this year, you will see us back. Yeah, you're doing a great job following us up, man. I appreciate you trying to follow in our footsteps. Um, One thing that me and Jamie did really well, we just bantered well. We just loved
Yeah,
giving one another shit. And Jimmy's got because he is a journalist,
yeah.
he's got a great aspect of that. And then, I'm the dumbass fighter, so it worked out really well. So, yeah, it was good to go back and forth with him for sure.
No, that's good, man. Well, if I understand that, yeah, people get busy and life gets in the way and all that sort of stuff. But if you ever do, man, I'd be absolutely stoked to hear it.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
thank you.
like I said, absolutely loved it, man, and a big fan of the show.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Now, mate, what's happening with top tier? Have you got any major fights for any of your fighters coming up that you want to talk about?
We're in, so I've got three really up and coming fighters. I've got Kid Ink, Isaac Thomason. I've got D-Day, Jay Daly, and the Hot Jock, Clem Taylor, which hopefully, if all goes to plan, we're going to make a little venture over there to Knees of Fury and make an appearance over there. And Jay's had a bit of experience now on CMT. It really suits his style, CMT. And I'd also like to see the Kid Ink in there as well. That kid can bang. He's an absolute talent. I've had him since he was a pup. He is one kid he's only 18 and got no fear at all and will fight anyone, anywhere. It's so cool. And disciplined too. So, look, we'll start off. Hopefully we can, get on knees and then hopefully with a bit of luck, some CMT action. And then I'd love to get over, Blair, if you're listening, I'd love to get over there in Perth and get over to that show and and do a little bit over there with Blair's crew. So it'd be pretty cool.
Good old Blair, yeah, the boys.
Yeah, yeah, all the boys over there, the boys are tough. Miguel making a comeback and Roy's doing his thing. Look, it's another solid, established, huge, great credential gym, and the crew are good. And it's some really good established gyms around Australia now that have just got names for themselves. And it's very cool, very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, apart from watching Toby and Roy, obviously, I'm excited to see our fight. I think he's fighting Mopper from Calsoc, so that'll be power versus experience.
Yeah, yeah, Big Al, he's a legend, Al. It'd be interesting to see how Al's developed. He's definitely a machine. I think he walks about 99 or something, 100 maybe. He's got more of a clubbing style, so
Yeah,
He'll probably might just do the Hulk smash. I don't know, but
Mate, his arms are so long as well. It's ridiculous. His reach on his opponents is crazy.
yeah. So it'd be good. It'd be good to see him back in the ring. The guy is an actual gentleman when you talk to him, and a legend. So yeah, which most of the crew are in Muay Thai. It's a good part of it all. But it'd be good to see him back in the ring. And look, the pit are always developing fighters. It's just crazy. They're just a gym that froths on it. So yeah, it'd be really cool. But I'd love to get over to Perth there, either Kaylee or Blair's show. I'd love to get over there and do a bit over there with my crew.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And mate, if people want to contact you, or they want to train at top tier, or they think it's time for a change and would like to transform their body and start leading a healthier lifestyle, how can they reach you in the various departments, mate?
Yeah, that's a great one. Thanks, man. To be honest, a lot of my contacting happens now on Instagram. So those three things you mentioned, top tier Muay Thai, Chris Bradford or AK Physiques, is all on Instagram. A lot of social media comes through that, contacting through that. The best way to contact me, unfortunately, I live on my phone. I can't help it. But yeah, it's definitely the way to go. And if you send me a message, you'll always get a reply. Just ask my girlfriend Eden, she'll soon tell you. Yeah, so please feel free to message us, and yeah, I'd love to help you out in any way, shape, or form, whether it's Thai boxing or AK Physiques or just changing your life, even just giving you some advice. Love helping people out.
Excellent, brother. And mate, just before I let you go, is there anyone you wish to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you very much for that, man. It's very important to me. Despite it's very important, I've had a lot of genuine people come on board, and it's been great to see genuine people who want to see me succeed and help me regardless, win, loss, or draw. Like Salvatore from El Mardo's restaurant down in Torquay, he's really helped and done some huge things for me. Um, then I've got Johnny at Bloom nightclub down here in Geelong, and Maddie from the Inn Hotel, two venues down here that are great venues. I socialise a little bit at them when I'm not training for a fight, mind you. Yeah, two great blokes and great venues down here. Aaron McCurdy, McCurdy Concreting, who is just a genuine dude and understands me and PTs with me, and I really appreciate his time. And yeah, it's just the people around my gym too. I've got an office lady there, Lee, who really steps up to the plate, helps me out. My instructors, they're all stepping up to the plate at the moment to try and really help me the best way they can with preparing for this bout. So it's a huge effort from everyone, not just me. And yeah, I want to make all my friends, all my family, and all my fans proud, win, loss, or draw.
Well, Mr. AK47, aka Chris Bradford, it's been an absolute privilege to have a chat with you, mate. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I very much appreciate your time. Thanks for your time, buddy.
No worries at all. And also, I just want to give Clint a good shout out there from Versatile Windows too. He's another person that come on board and helped me from the bottom of his heart. Muay Thai interviews, thank you very much for having me. You guys are doing a great job. You're doing a good job, Mudsy. Keep it going, man. Keep pushing it out there. The Australian community needs to know more about Muay Thai. Even myself transitioning into a K1 bout for this fight, that I can still come here and talk about Muay Thai, the community, and the fight scene. And keep pushing it, mate. You're doing a good job. And thank you very much for having me on.
Well, mate, in between keeping a day job and everything else in between, I will definitely endeavour to see this out for the foreseeable future. I probably don't get as many interviews out as I'd like to, but yeah, Muay Thai interviews isn't going anywhere. Might be a little bit slow at times, but yeah, I'll be around.
Good stuff, man. Thanks again for having us.
Thanks for your time, mate. Very much appreciate it.